This is where focusing on profit as well as revenue puts you into that CEO level and stops you from being a shopkeeper. All right, so hopefully I have made this really, really clear that right now you need to be focusing on revenue and profit. And if you haven't already increased your prices, these are some things that you can do right now to make sure that you're on track and on top of it, but also some things you can do if you're feeling a little bit scared and a little bit hesitant about putting your prices up. Hey there, and welcome to the Bringing Business to Retail podcast. If you're looking to get more sales, more customers, master your marketing, and ultimately take control of your retail or e-commerce business, then you're in the right place. I'm Selena Knight, a retail growth strategist and multi-award-winning store owner whose superpower is uncovering exactly what your business requires to move to the next level. I'll provide you with the strategies, the tools, and the insight you need to scale your store. All you need to do is take action. Ready to get started? I wanted to tell you a story about something that happened just this morning. So Lana was getting ready for school and she decided she was going to have a canteen, and she gets $10 a week and she can spend that however she likes. It's up to her to manage her money. And so she decided that today she was going to have canteen. And she came back from ordering it because she does it on her phone. And she said to me, "Mum, my order is normally $7 and today it was $8.50 and I ordered the exact same thing." And she looked at me and she goes, I know the price of everything has gone up, but I didn't think it would happen to the canteen." Now, if you follow me on social media, you will know that I help out at the school canteen. I'm a pretty crappy parent when it comes to being involved in the school stuff, but the one concession all the way along through Lana's school life has been that I will do my duty in the canteen. So in high school, they're smart. In high school, you sign up once and they put you in a group and you come every single month. They send you a text message and all that kind of stuff, but there's no one-offs. You sign up, you are in for the long haul. And so every month I turn up to canteen, and guys, you would be so amazed at what these canteen ladies could teach you when it comes to running a business, considering most of these people have actually had no experience whatsoever in running a hospitality business. Oh my God, these women, and they're all women, have spreadsheets. They have a POS. They make sure that nothing goes to waste. They know the cost of every item. They weigh everything. Like, they have this thing down pat. So when they finally had got around to making sure that they are putting their prices in line with what their costs are, I knew it wouldn't take long for them to actually increase prices. Now, here's the thing. Lana only bought 2 items. She bought a wrap and a drink. And those 2 items, between them, went up $1.50. Now, that's quite a lot of money, isn't it? Especially for something like a school canteen. So let's call it $1 for the wrap and 50 cents for the drink. When you are paying, what was she paying? $5, I think, for the wrap. That's now $6, and $2.50 for the drink, which is now $3, something I can't quite remember. But that is quite a big increase. If we're going 5% and adding $1, what's that, a 20% increase? So it is really, really important for you guys to be taking a message from my daughter and the school canteen and to get you looking at your prices, because the fact is, it doesn't matter what industry you're in. Raw imports have gone up. Raw goods have gone up. Labor has gone up. Shipping, oh my gosh, how expensive is shipping at the moment? Insurance costs, the fact that every single thing that we put into our business, and even if you haven't got a massive business and you aren't really thinking about all the money that's going out, maybe it's just you, the fact is your time has to now bring you in more money. You cannot afford to, from this moment forward, not increase your prices. Now, I don't know about you, But we have been getting ready for Read Gift Fairs. Well, I have been getting ready for Read Gift Fairs, which starts this Friday. Well, we're heading down this Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. There's a lot of stuff that could go wrong. And there is a lot of money that we have put into going to this event. I'm not going to shy about it. I have been very, very stressed. I have so many contingencies in place. I've got plan A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all the way right through to Z to make sure that we can make this a profitable exercise. And I have to be on top of what it costs for us to do this event. So all these things that are going on has had me a little bit emotionally frazzled. And this is what I have found, and I'm sure this is not just me, but our relationship with other people, and quite often with ourselves, is very, very often linked to how much money we are bringing in. Have you found that? I know that if the money is, if the cash is rolling in, I have not got a care in the world. I'm thinking about all the positive things that we can do and all the growth. But when that money starts to shrink, when the sales aren't as prolific, I start to get stressed. I start thinking about, what have we done wrong? What are we going to do? What are we going to change? And I worry about whether I have done something wrong with my business or as a boss. And I start to get short with people. I don't feel great about myself. I snap at my family. So for everybody's sake, let's try and make more money. Let's just try and make more money, because we're going to be a lot more at peace with ourselves. If you find that as well as I find that, then if we make more money, we're going to be in a better headspace, right? Not stressing about those sorts of things so much. Now, the other thing is we're heading into a recession, right? Pretty much everywhere around the world, the economies are tanking. I heard it said that there are normally 3 things that affect whether you go, the interest rates and the economy. And at the moment, we have 9 different factors that are influencing what is happening all around the world. So we're sitting at between a 50 and 80% chance of heading into a recession. When these things happen, you can't afford to not focus on revenue and profit. Because right now, you might be focusing on revenue, but you're probably not focusing on profit. And all of your costs have gone up, but I'm thinking that there's a really good chance. And I say this because I go and stalk the websites of the people in our Facebook groups. Quite often I buy stuff as well. I go and stalk people inside of other people's Facebook groups. All of our Scale Your Store people, I like to check out their website. That's what I do when I'm procrastinating. The stuff on there is the same price because I'll find something I like, right? And then I like to track what happens with it. Does it go out of stock? Is it a bestseller? The prices have not gone up. Pretty much every single website of every single independent retailer that I go to, the prices haven't increased. Now, I don't know how you're doing it, because the only thing that is giving here is your profit. And you might make the same amount of revenue, but you haven't got as much money in the bank at the end of the day, at the end of the week, at the end of the month. And you might be looking at your bank account. Your sales might even be going up. And you're thinking, holy crap, where is our money going? Your money is going because your profit margin has reduced, because you haven't taken the time to look at what it costs to run your business right now, here, July 2022. And I'm going to go through, I reckon, 6 different things that you need to be aware of and what you can do to focus on revenue and profit. So revenue, but not at the expense of profit. So when it comes to money, clearly this is your money pillar, right? Revenue and profit, those things go hand in hand, and you have to be on top of them. This is why when people come and work with me one-on-one, quite often they have their bookkeeper or their accountant doing their books once a quarter. If I'm lucky, it's once a quarter. Now, here's the thing. You can't do anything with your business 3 months down the line, right? You can't be fixing things 3 months later. You can't wait 3 months or 6 months or the end of the year before you find out whether you're not making money. And I'm sure for a lot of you, you're just hoping that there's money in the bank, right? I know this because I get on calls. I talk to you guys. You probably don't even know what your profit margin is for your products. And inside of Scale Your Store, we have what we call the perfect product matrix. It's profit is a different thing, but we have this thing called the perfect product matrix where we map out high volume, high margin products and where things sit between high volume, high margin and low volume, low margin. And when you can map that out in your business, you can start to see what do you need more of and what do you need less of, what do you need to just get rid of entirely. This is where focusing on profit as well as revenue puts you into that CEO level and stops you from being a shopkeeper. All right. So hopefully I have made this really, really clear that right now you need to be focusing on revenue and profit. And if you haven't already increased your prices, these are some things that you can do right now to make sure that you're on track and on top of it, but also some things you can do if you're feeling a little bit scared and a little bit hesitant about putting your prices up. Okay. So the first thing that you have to do today, if you can't do this today, I need you to sit down in the next 7 days or allocate this to a team member to get this done in the next 7 days. And that is for you to sit down and rework your cost of goods as of right now, July 2022. Now, you've hopefully already set this up in either your POS or in your website. And I know so many people who have Shopify or WooCommerce and they haven't added cost of goods in, right? You have to do this because then your reporting is on track. If you don't do this simple little thing, like this is so easy, but it can change your business so dramatically. So when you get your invoice in from a supplier, you probably haven't even included things like your freight, right? You might say, all right, I buy this for $10, I sell it for $20, I'm putting my cost of goods in as $10. Now that's totally up to you if you have a system in place that then adjusts your cost of goods by the amount that you're paying to get that into you, which is your freight in. If you haven't got that kind of in-depth, robust accounting system, you need to be putting that freight into your cost of goods because it's not free, right? I'm guessing most of your suppliers don't ship you your orders for free. So if you're paying $100 for shipping and you've got 100 items and you pay $10 for those items, you're actually paying $11 for those items because you had to pay $1 per unit to get them to your store. That money doesn't just disappear, right? It's still in your books. It's still in your overheads. But if you don't know that it actually costs you $11 for a product rather than $10, then your margin you're going to think is 50%. It isn't 50%, right? You just took a whole bunch out of it by not adding that extra dollar in. What does that work out to be? 10%? Don't hold me to that. I'm trying to think of this as I go. If you don't know an accurate cost of goods, you aren't going to know an accurate profit margin for a product. So it means that you might sell a lot of a product, but at the end of the day, you're wondering, where has all my money gone? Because the profit is the money in the bank. The profit is the thing that pays you and your staff and it pays your bills. The revenue doesn't pay your bills. It's what's left over that pays everything. So profit is really important, knowing your profit margin, but knowing, first of all, the difference between turnover and profit, right? I'm sure you're all on top of that, right? Turnover does not equal profit. Understanding your profit margins, which is as simple as taking the time to get those invoices out, do some simple math, and put it into your system. There aren't many POS and e-commerce systems that don't have cost of goods as an option. And if it doesn't, I need you to rethink about whether that's the best platform for you, or go and look at whatever your accounting program is that you're using. Maybe you're using Xero or MYOB. How can you put those cost of goods into that program so that you can sit down and accurately work out how much you need to charge? Because I can guarantee you that if you have not put your prices up right now, unless you are sitting on a heap of old stock, which you shouldn't be because you need to increase your cash flow, you need to be on top of this. And you need to make sure that if you haven't done this, I can guarantee you that you are going to lose money. You are losing money right now because that last order you got in is more expensive than the order you got in this time of the year before. Okay. The other thing I just kind of touched on it there, is you have to get rid of old stock that is tying up your cash flow. Being on the brink of a recession, going into uncertain circumstances, going into a time when customers are tightening their belts, you cannot afford to have dusty old stock cluttering up your shelves. And you know why, right? You know, because it's tying up your cash flow. You know, because customers get bored of seeing the same things over and over. They are not going to buy when every time they come to your website or every time they come into your store, it's the same stuff. Nobody wants to see the same old stuff over and over again from an independent store. So as we head into your Christmas buying period, Read Gift Fairs, that is the buying show for Christmas. We're at the end of July. In 5 to 6 weeks, your Christmas stock will start to arrive. Your Christmas marketing will start to be, if you haven't already developed it, you're going to have to start developing it soon. You can't afford to wait till November or December. So as we head into this Christmas buying time, you need to be on top of your inventory. You need to know how many days on hand is your stock sitting there? What does your cash flow look like? How much money is sitting up in the stuff that has not sold? How much money is sitting tied up in the stuff that hasn't been sold? And what could you buy with that stock? What could you buy with the money if you got rid of that stock? And I see this over and over again. $2,000, $3,000. Lyndall did $20,000 in 3 hours. What does $2,000 do for your business? I'm guessing it allows you to get a brand new order of new stuff in, which will in turn get your customers coming back again and again and again. You can't go into Christmas without having the money to pay for the Christmas stock. And you can't go into Christmas thinking that customers are going to come back just because it's time to buy. They want new stuff. They want a reason to come back. And the reason can't just be because you're there. The reason has to be, you've got something I want to buy. Sit down and rework out your cost of goods and get rid of any old stock that is tying up cash flow. If you listen to my podcast, you'll know that I have said it over and over again. We have an inventory management training program, selinaknight.com/stock, where I will walk you through how to get rid of the stuff that is tying up your cash flow, how to work out when it needs to go, how to work out why people aren't buying it in the first place, right? If that's something that can help you, go and invest a couple of bucks, buy the training, and get that stuff gone. Realistically, what do you have to sell? One thing to pay for it? You can find it at selinaknight.com/stock. I'll pop a link into the comments below. All right. Rework your cost of goods. Get rid of any old stock that is tying up your cash flow. Next is one that I know that most of you will probably shy away from. And that's because it isn't necessarily the easiest thing in the world to do. And a lot of people who come and work with me or come into our programs think that they're a bit shit when it comes to working with numbers. But the next thing I'm going to tell you to do, especially coming into Christmas and coming into a recession, is to sit down and whether it's with you or your bookkeeper, your accountant, with a friend, and do cash flow forecasting. Not revenue forecasting, cash flow forecasting. How much money are you going to have this month, next month, the month after, going into Christmas? And how much money do you need? If you're heading off to read gift fairs, have you got a budget? Have you sat down and said, if I want to hit this target, I need to bring in $100,000 worth of new stock? Okay, which means I'm going to have to pay for that stock. How am I going to make sure that we have the money to pay for that stock? You can't just cross your fingers and hope the sales will come in. You can't just cross your fingers and hope that if you're doing things the same way that you're doing now, you're going to have the cash. Because if you haven't gone through and increased your prices, you might have the same amount of sales like we've just talked about, but you don't have the cash to pay for the stuff. And going into this buying period, everything is going to be more expensive. So factor that in as well. Take the time to work out how much money you're going to need and how are you going to get that money. It sounds very simple. It takes a bit of guesswork. It takes time. But this is the difference between the shopkeeper and the CEO. The shopkeeper just crosses their fingers and hopes that there will be enough. The CEO sits down, looks at the numbers, and if they don't feel confident to analyze those numbers themselves, they find someone who can help. Go out to your network, go and hire a virtual CFO, go and talk to your bookkeeper, even maybe talk to your parents. If you've got a mathematically minded, my dad used to be quite mathematically minded. If you know someone, my next door neighbor used to be a futures trader. He loves numbers. Find somebody in your network to help you. You don't have to get this 100% right, but you at least have to have an idea of, am I going to have enough money to buy the things that I need? And we call that cash flow forecasting, not revenue forecasting. All right. So some things to do. So they're kind of the three big things that you need to do to work on your money pillar. Rework your cost of goods, get rid of any old stock, and do that cash flow forecasting. So now you're probably freaking out and thinking, Sal wants me to put my prices up, but how do I get this across to my customers? So I want you to take these on board, and maybe you'll do one of them, maybe you'll do two of them, maybe you do three of them, maybe do all of them together. But there are some simple things that you can do that don't necessarily cost you anything, but dramatically increase your average order value, your customer return rate, and your customer lifetime value. I was at Online Retailer, it feels like forever ago. It was like 4 days ago. And I interviewed the gorgeous Kim Zorn from Princess Polly. Princess Polly does fast fashion for Gen Zs. And she was great, I have to say. All credit to her. I was a little bit, not scathing, but we had some pretty pokey conversations about Gen Zs and the stereotypes that came with that comes with this Gen Z, in air quotes, entitlist behavior and how they spend. And she was so much fun and she did a great job answering all of my questions. But one of the things that came up was their rewards program. Now, I know that many of you have rewards programs in place, right? And maybe you're using an app. Maybe you just have a discount at a certain point. But here's the thing. If you go and look at your rewards program, and if you can tweak it to give your customers what they want, rather than, I know so many of you just give a discount or you give free shipping. Maybe you give a free gift if they reach a certain point. But all those things cost money. All those things take off your profit. What we're trying to do is increase your profit, reduce your cost of goods. So I've just brought up and go and Google this, Princess Polly VIP tiers or something, or Princess Polly perks. Now, they have 4 different tiers. They have general admission, front row, VIP, and backstage pass, because they're catering to millennials, right? You need to look at what your customer wants and what they value. So I just want to kind of call out some of the things that you get as you progress. So in the general admission, you get a one-time discount, you get a birthday reward, and you get early access to sales. It's probably what you're doing now, right? But as you go up, you get things like an anniversary discount. And you're not all about discounts, right? So it's $10. It's not a huge big deal. Exclusive loyalty sales, entry to our monthly gift card draw. So you only give out one of those gift cards, but all these people go in the draw for it. And I love this one. I would never have thought of this, but entry into our monthly Insta feature draw. Yeah, you heard that right. One of the perks is you might appear on their Instagram feed. How is this even a thing, right? But this is what millennials and Gen Zs, we're talking about Gen Zs, this is what they want. They want you to know. They want the status that comes with people following. They want to be able to say, hey, look, I was on the Instagram page. That costs nothing. Costs nothing to add people into your social media. Maybe you feature them on a newsletter. Maybe you feature them on your social media if you've got a great following. The next tier up is going to give you early access to new product launches. So you've noticed here there's been difference. Early access to sales, exclusive loyalty sales, and now early access to new product launches. They've actually sat down and worked out that they can segment this. And based on how important you are to them, how much money you spent, how often you come back, these are the things you get access to. The next one, exclusive access to our Stylist Facebook group. Now, the fun thing is, when I was talking to Kim, she said most of the stuff that happens in that Facebook group is not them. It is the other people in the Facebook group giving style advice. Hey, I'm going out to a party this weekend and I bought this shirt. What should I wear with it? It is self-generating. So it costs you, again, this costs you nothing, right? None of these things, apart from the gift card draw, none of these things cost you anything. And I'm calling them out because maybe there's something that your customers value that is more than a discount. Maybe it is coming to an exclusive meet the author night. Maybe it is exclusive VIP shopping night. There are so many things. Maybe it is just exclusive access to a Facebook group. You're probably giving people access to a Facebook group now. Let's make it exclusive. The next one, on the VIP tier is customer service priority response. Now that one's pretty brilliant too, right? And you see this in a lot of services. I know that with our CRM, the higher up you are, the less wait time you have for a response. So if you're in the top tier, it's within 2 hours. If you're in the bottom tier, it's within 48 hours. Again, this doesn't cost you anything, but the value that comes with it for the customer is massive. And then if you get all the way to Backstage Pass, you can have access to exclusive Princess Polly merch, invites to their events, and you go in the draw to win a festival weekend with Princess Polly. Now, again, these things are probably, you can adapt to them. Maybe you're going to collaborate with someone. Maybe you work with another company, and if they're having an event, they go in the draw. This doesn't have to be an expensive exercise, but what I'm trying to show you is that your loyalty program right now, your rewards program, is probably pretty crap. It's probably a discount. But actually, do your customers want discounts? Or would they come back again and again and again, knowing that their points will go towards something that they value more? So that is something for you to think about. Here's the thing, people will pay more if they perceive things to have more value. So you increase your prices, but you release a new reward program at the same time, right? It's brilliant. Next up, I want you to look at your product mix and your offers and see whether they're still relevant. Now, the reason I say this is because you probably know already that when people buy things, they buy X, and 9 out of 10 people will buy Y. And if you don't already know this, your POS system or your website is going to tell you these answers. In my stores, it took us a while to work this out, right? This is what you're learning from my experiences. We used to get people coming in who were pregnant and who wanted to buy newborn nappies. We sold, for those who don't know me, we sold reusable nappies. And so we would kind of say, oh, you could try this brand or this brand or this brand. But time and time again, customers were like, but I don't know, I haven't got the baby. I don't know which ones. Like, can you just do me like a value pack or, just chuck a whole bunch of the ones that you think would be suitable for me? And well, that was pretty brilliant because then we went and created that same thing. And that took all of the confusion out for new parents. Now, there were some extra things that we did, and all those products didn't necessarily come from the same supplier. So you don't have to stick with what your supplier gives you. You can put these products together to put an offer together that is going to allow you to get your customers to purchase more and to get them to come and purchase more often. The good thing about that is that's going to give you opportunities to add other value-driven products, I'm going to say products in air quotes, into the mix. So I interviewed Marie from Dot's Yarn Den. It hasn't gone live yet, but we were talking about the mystery bag that she had that went viral on YouTube and how she could leverage that moving forward. And one of the things that we talked about was her putting a pattern in, or a couple of patterns, free patterns, so that when people bought the mystery bag, they would have something that they could create. Right? It doesn't cost her anything to digitally send those patterns with the order confirmation. But the value that your customer gets, even if the patterns are free, the value is not in the price. The value is in what I receive and what I can do with the product once I've gotten it. That value is something that people are prepared to pay more for. Think of your expertise. What can you put together to make it easier for your customers to buy and to get them to choose you over somebody else? And make sure that this does not cut into your profits, right? Don't just be adding more stuff without looking at the value and the profit margin. Your goal here is to increase average order value, increase your revenue, increase your profit. So decrease cost of goods, increase the profit. And you do that by adding value. So look at your rewards program, look at your product mix and what your offers are, and how you can change those up to what people are looking for right now. I mean, the world right now is different to the world 12 months ago when we were all in lockdown. We're a little bit freer now, but maybe we're tightening our belts. So where can you put that value into your buying cycle and give your customers that offer? And my last one, again, this is so super easy, is what problem can you solve for them? Like, is it as simple as having chat on your website so that if someone is shopping, you can answer their questions? If you've got a store, Your staff can have the chat open while they're working. You can have that, you can outsource that to a virtual assistant. What are the problems that you can solve? Is it something like people want to try the product on and be able to return it, but that's a huge cost for you? Is there a service? Have you looked into any kinds of ways where you can get your costs down to get that product back? Maybe you could charge a nominal fee. I know for one of the companies that I buy from, it's $5. But that's okay. I'm prepared to pay. I'll buy a whole bunch and then just pay $5 to send it back. Or even if you can't float any of that, PayPal in most countries does PayPal funded returns. You get 8 a year up to $40. Tell people this because so many people don't know that, right? If you want a free return, check out using PayPal and you'll get 8 funded PayPal returns a year up to $40 per return. I actually use this when I buy overseas because shipping stuff back overseas, if you don't like it, is ridiculously expensive. But I bought some stuff from the UK recently, paid through PayPal. The stuff I had to send back, I got the money back. What are the problems that you can solve? What are the issues that your customers are having right now? You know, I'm thinking back to COVID when everybody got dogs. All these people who had no idea about what to do with puppies. You know, could it be a free puppy training class that you put together online? Could it be the VR, you know, if you buy a puppy bundle, you go into our exclusive Facebook group because you've spent a certain amount of money where we're going to give you puppy hints, tips and tricks. You guys know your business so well, but you aren't leveraging it. And you're probably not leveraging everything that you know because you're too busy trying to do all the things. And you're only going to try and do more of the things, the less profit that you have. So just a quick recap. It is time to increase your prices. I want you to give yourself a deadline by when this is going to happen. And it shouldn't be more than a week. Okay? Because every day that you don't increase prices is days that you are losing money. Sit down and rework your cost of goods. Get rid of any of that old stock. When it comes to this, I want you to put some targets in place. Right? We all know that putting targets in place helps us achieve our goals. So what is your target? I told you have to give me a deadline for when you're going to rework your cost of goods and increase your prices. How long are you going to give yourself to get rid of old stock? How much is going to go? How much are you going to make? And what are you going to use that money for? The cash flow forecasting. I want you to book in some time. Reach out to your network. Ask the question, can somebody help me? If you need help, just ask the people who are around you in your network. And then if you're feeling a little bit, how do I do this and not lose customers? Go and revisit your rewards program. What do they value? Value, 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 value. That is your big takeaway from today. Value, increase prices, profit. Look at your product mix. Look at the offers. Are they irrelevant? Do you need to spice them up? What can you add in to increase value, increase profit? And then what problems can you solve to get your customers coming back? Sometimes it's as simple as just picking up the phone and calling them, asking them what would make them come back? What do they value? What would they love to see? We used to do this in our business. One of the KPIs my sales team had was they had to call 2 people a day. So whenever the store was quiet, pick up the phone, call a customer. We had 3 quick questions. Don't want to waste much of your time. I'll be like 2 minutes. I just have 3 quick questions I can ask you so that we can improve our service. Have those 3 questions. Now, quite often those conversations went for more than 2 minutes, right? But if you are really upfront with somebody that their questions are, you know, that their time is important and your question, their answers are going to help you to grow the business, quite often they'll help. Send them by text message, right? Send these questions by text message. Too many of you are not using SMS marketing. It is the thing. It is where you are going to make money. Again, the cost is so minimal. Profit, 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 value, value, value. Increase prices, increase prices, increase prices. Alrighty. If you are coming down to see us at Reed Gift Fairs and you haven't already booked your strategy session, different URL. Listen here. scaleyourstore.com/read. You can grab one of the sessions with the team and I'm going to be speaking at Life in Style on how to build a brand that chain stores can't compete with. I'll also be speaking at Reed on Sunday on great ways to get your customers back shopping with you. You've had a little bit of a hint of some of them here today. And if you can't come and see us live in person, you can grab that inventory management training, selinaknight.com/stock. And as a marketer, I can tell you that there are way too many calls to action there, but you know what? Today we are just going with the flow. Alrighty, thank you so much for allowing me into your eardrums. I can't wait to hear how much more profit you're going to be making. And hey, hit me up on social media and let me know, did you increase your prices and how are you feeling about it? Alrighty, see you later. So that's a wrap. I'd love to hear what insight you've gotten from this episode and how you're going to put it into action. If you're a social kind of person, follow me at @TheSelena and make sure to leave a comment and let me know. And if this episode made you think a little bit differently, or gave you some inspiration, or perhaps gave you the kick that you needed to take action, then please take a couple of minutes to leave me a review on your platform of choice. Because the more reviews the show gets, the more independent retail and e-commerce stores just like yours that we can help to scale. And when that happens, it's a win for you, a win for your community, and a win for your customers. I'll see you on the next episode.